Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. Now, we are back on Reforged, the Ultra Test 3. Now, we're not looking as such at the new Reforged. We are going to be looking at a certain tank, though, which is the Kampfpanzer 70 Cavalry. Now, we're looking at this because, as you already are probably aware, in the next update or in the next few updates or whenever it is, Wargaming are actually changing the tier of this tank. It is currently a tier 9, but they are changing it to tier 10. Now, ultimately, it's a good tank. It is a very good tank, and I do think it can hold its own in tier 10. However, I still think it is a bad move. One thing, it's a great tank. It is a great tank, but it's great, fantastic when it comes up against tier 8 tanks. It's not as great when it comes up against tier 10 tanks. Now, I know they've adjusted certain stats with the tank, but I still think it is a better tank at tier 9 coming up against those tier 8 tanks. So, yeah, a little bit disappointed that this is going to tier 10, to be honest. And likewise, there's a few other tanks that are going from tier 8 to tier 9, which in the upcoming sort of updates, we will look at once they are changed. But I wanted to look at this one in particular because, one, if you go over to the Ultra Test, you can actually play this in tier 10. So this is already tier 10 in the Ultra Test. So yeah, I am a little bit disappointed. But let's look at the stats of the tank and let's see how it performs on the battlefield. So hit points for the tank, 2,600, which, okay, fair enough. Decent amount of hit points there. And you do have 560 alpha. Now, your rate of fire is 4.1. And just be aware, obviously, we are on Ultra Test, so I'm assuming these are going to be the stats when it gets changed over on the current version of Blitz. I'm assuming these will be the stats. I don't know. They may not. They may. I don't know. So your penetration is 250. And then your armor 149. I don't know where that is, the armor wise. You got your speed 30 kilometers per hour and so on. So here's your armor, sorry. So you're on your front, on your body, on your hull, you got 150 on your front. So yeah, the armor profile isn't great. However, you do have a slightly strong turret, not the best, but I mean 220. So that's where, coming up against tier 8 tanks, you do bounce a few more than you would against tier 10. So but let's have a go down. DPM 2,300, so not the greatest of DPMs. It is quite low, but I suppose it's kind of average for a tier 10 heavy tank with this kind of caliber. Your reload is 14.6 seconds. You do have a 560 alpha gun, 490 on your heat and 640 on your HE. 263 on your pen, on your APCR pen, and 362 on your heat. So pretty decent pen, and 97 on your HE. So pretty decent HE pen as well. And then your aim time 2.8, which we know is very good. Dispersion 0.6, which is pretty decent. And then you do have 7 degrees of gun depression with a top speed of 30 kilometers per hour. So yeah, it's not bad. I don't think it's bad at all, to be fair. Am I right in saying in the current version of Blitz, it's got tungsten shells as well, I believe? Don't quote me on that. I think it has. I can't see it on. I don't think it's got it on here because I don't think it has the provisions or whatever. But yeah, it's going to be a decent tank no matter what. It is a decent tank. But honestly, I still prefer this tank as a tier 9, only because, like I said, it comes up better in tier 8 games. Now, yes, again, the stats are slightly better, but I still think it is going to be better if you come up against tier 8. Any tier 9 is going to be better when it comes up against tier 8. So now this is very annoying because I have the bar here. I've actually questioned Wargaming about this this ammo bar, and it worked. I can't get rid of it, but earlier when I played it, I actually triple or double tapped the screen and it got rid of. So I don't know what's going on there. I think it's just, I don't know if it's a bug or not. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Honestly, I don't know. But we're just going to keep the ammo bar there for now because, again, I can't get rid of it anyway. Now, I do love the look of the tank. I think the tank actually looks fantastic. It really does look scary. It looks a beast. And I think I've said it in one of my previous videos that it probably is one of the sexiest tanks in the game. It honestly, it looks fantastic. It really does. So I love the look of it. I've always loved the look of this tank. I love the legendary camouflage. Haven't got it on this replay, but yeah, I think the legendary camouflage looks good. I would prefer it to be a legendary camouflage that's more realistic, and that's solely because I love the look of the tank. You know, if it had a camouflage kind of like the grill, more realistic, I think it would be absolutely fantastic. Now, of course, you can see Jolt in here. It's not going to be the best record because, again, it is reforged. There are still some minor issues, minor bugs, so don't expect anything too special. And again, you will see some jolting here or there. But I'd love to know your opinion. Now, I know, as I've said, there are going to be a few tanks that are changing from tier 8 to tier 9. Not so many tanks changing from tier 9 to tier 10. But I'd love to know your guys' opinion. Like, are you pleased? Are you pleased that this tank is changing to tier 10? I don't see how, because it's no benefit. It has literally no benefit on the tank because, of course, when you're tier 9, you come up against tier 8 and tier 10. When you're tier 9, when you're tier 10, you only come up against tier 9. So it literally has no benefit on the tank whatsoever. So it's not a good change. If anyone says it is a good change, you're lying, because, again, when you're a tier 9 tank, you're still going to come up against tier 10, but you do come up against tier 8s. When you're tier 10, you don't see tier 8s. So it's not a great change, and personally, I don't see why they have changed it. I don't know. I really, really don't know. But I'd love to know your guys' opinion. Are you happy that this is now a tier 10? Some people will be happy because they only play tier 10. And some people love the tank and will play it a lot because they enjoy coming up against tier 8s. But that will no longer be the case from very soon. So let me know your opinion in the comments below. But for now, hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. I'm meadsy69, and I will catch you all soon. Bye-bye.